Ladies and gentlemen, it is so good to see you tonight. We appreciate very much you coming. We welcome you. When we sent out the invitations, we didn't really have any idea how many folks were going to come, and we've got a great representation. We thank you for giving the time to come, and there is something of a comradeship that we have here with us tonight. A sisterhood, brotherhood, whatever you want to call it. We have all lost somebody that's very dear to us over the past year. And certainly you can relate to that. We feel for each other. The staff of Davis-Struempf, these folks sitting right up here on the front, why don't you all stand and turn around and let them see? I'm going to embarrass them just a little bit. I want you to know all of these folks. They are here for the primary purpose of the arrangements for that of a funeral, but they're also interested in the long-term effects of death upon that of a family, and all of you understand what those long-term effects are all about. When everybody goes home, gets on with their life, go ahead and have a seat. You are left alone, and you deal with those things. They want you to know that they care even about those kinds of things. And if this kind of program helps just a little bit, we're glad to be able to provide it. Thank you for coming, and we've got some excellent talent for you tonight. This young lady over here, Anna Lavin, did I get that right? She just got married, see. We knew her by her maiden name, and now she's young and she's married, and we have discovered that she is a musician. And she's going to play for us tonight on the guitar. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Enjoy it, okay? Come.
Yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have
Apologize for the noise. She's good, isn't she?
Real good.
Yes, indeed.
Real good.
Wonderful. You did better this time than the first time. I like that. Wonderful, wonderful job. Now, folks, everybody knows that when we lose our loved one, there's all kinds of emotions that we have to deal with. Some of them are more stringent than that of others. Just difficult days, and especially time of Christmas, when there seems to be such gaiety and joy all around. Sometimes our Christmas is not so good, especially if we lost someone just recently. I want to talk about just a few things. We're going to get on with this. It's going to be very brief. But one of the emotions that I find so oftentimes in a loss of a loved one has to do with loneliness. Couples that have been together so long and suddenly one is taken away and they feel all alone. I've got a very good friend, lost his wife about 3 months ago to cancer. Just a great relationship that they had, and I stay in touch with him. I was talking with him just the other day, and I said, Bill, how in the world are you doing? And he said, well, I'm getting by. And went on to say this. He said, my wife and I, we did everything together. And now, he says, I just feel alone. And I see some heads shaking out there. You know exactly what he's talking about. How in the world do you get past that? Time and the Lord will help you get past those moments of loneliness. Indeed, that is one of the big ones that we find folks facing in times like this. And there's another one, and it has to do with regrets. Folks, y'all know what regrets all about. And I tell folks at times like this, in times of death, even the best of situations, it seems like we've got regrets. And that regrets, what I'm talking about is, I wish that I'd done something else. I wish that I'd had another opportunity to go see them. I wish that it would have been different. You know what I'm talking about. It's that kind of thing that has a tendency just to plague us day in and day out. The regrets of life itself. Now, I have a vet. Well, I don't have a vet. My cat has a vet, okay, that I've been carrying her to for about 12 or 13 years. And the doctor is just a wonderful doctor, runs a very busy clinic in Cobb County. And she lost her dad a couple of years ago. He was a World War II vet, and they were obviously very, very close. And she was the primary caregiver. And folks, she did a good job. I know that she did a good job. She didn't slack up on it at all. She was there for him. Of course, she had that busy clinic that she was having to take care of and so on and so forth. But a few weeks after the death of her dad, I was in the clinic one day, and she just seemed a little bit down. And I said to her, is there something going on? And you know what she said to me? This lady that had just a compassion and a passion for her dad, took care of him every opportunity that she could. She said this to me. She says, I just feel like that I should have done something else. Now, folks, that thing will just plague us to death, even the best of situations. And I let her talk for a minute. She shared what was going on. And I basically said this to her. I said, let me tell you something. I believe with all my heart, if your dad was standing here right now speaking to you, he would say to his daughter, I love you very, very much. And you did everything that you needed to do. But my time had come. Now you quit thinking those negative things. Get on with life, because the world needs you. And folks, she didn't say a word to me. She just stood there for a second, but she reached over and grabbed me and she hugged me. And then she went on about her business. I think that she understood what I was talking about. Sometimes those things will just ride your back, and you don't let them ride your back. We all have regrets. There's always something else we think we ought to have been able to do. Another one, and this one is the one that I want to kind of pivot on. It has to do with those that we love very, very much, that they are not forgotten. And I hear this all the time. It seems as if when my husband, when my wife, or my child, or somebody close to us has died, nobody ever hardly mentions their name again. And I do understand that, because those other individuals that are your friends, they are afraid that it's going to bring forth sorrow, so therefore we just don't mention it around them, and they say it's almost like they never existed, as if they are forgotten. See, and I hear it all the time. I wish somebody would mention their name. Folks, we're not going to be guilty of not mentioning their names. We're going to mention the names tonight. And the psalmist says this to us: if I should forget you, may my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. Well, we're not going to have any tongues clinging to the roof of your mouth tonight. We're going to mention your loved ones. Now, I'm going to ask you to do something tonight. You got a program. How many of you all got a program tonight? Everybody get a program? Inside of it is a responsive reading. Have you church members probably know exactly what a responsive reading is all about. So on the inside, I'm going to read the dark. I'm going to ask you as a congregation to respond with the red writing. It kind of reflects how we feel towards our loved ones that are gone, okay? So would you do that? Would you read with me? In this joyous season of Christmas that heralds the message of hope and joy, and then you respond. You are missed because your familiar places will be empty, but you will never be forgotten. The heavens declare the glory of God and are a reminder that God created us in his image. And then all together, our time was precious together. You are missed, but are always with us, because you reside in our hearts. And we have a hope that we will see you again someday. Indeed, kind of reflects the feelings that we have during this Christmas season. You can do the presentation. Brother? Folks, we're going to make a presentation to you tonight. Show them one of those. Just hold it up for a second, because I think they are absolutely beautiful. It's an angel, and it has the name of your loved one written upon it. Just a little ornament of remembrance. And it has their birth date and their deceased date as well. One to say, you will never be forgotten. And when that name is called out, I'm going to ask that a family member come, whichever that might be, and receive the gift. So would you do that? The first one is Aaron Dale. J.T. Akins, I'm sorry. Cyrene Hannell and Kevin Butler. Ernest Bivens. Mary Nance. Thelma Hutchins. Macy Carter. Ronald Neely. Joseph Greffenstein. Paul Gumbar Jr. Betty Evans. Michael Owens. Okay. Ronald Kearns. Chad Hunter. Pamela Long and Robert Long. Okay. Barbara Grogan. Lindsay Rutherford. Jackie Williams and Caitlin Spears. Y'all gonna make me emotional here in just a minute. Ella Troya. Jimmy Landers. Emmett Hunter. Wendell Duncan. Don Howard. Edward Stanfield. Roland Fleming. Is there anyone else that we missed tonight? Anybody? Okay, very good. Folks, I can see your heartbeat tonight. You miss them immensely. And this time of the year makes it ever so tough. I want you to know that I, along with the staff of this funeral home, cares about you. But let me tell you who cares more about you than we do, and that's God. God that loves you ever so deeply and cares for every tear that passes through your eyes. He loves you. And the Bible says, it's one of my most encouraging, it seems, from the Word of God. Book of Isaiah says, God knows about your tears, and he collects them, puts them in a jar, categorizes them, catalogs them, puts them on a shelf. He knows about your tears. A man by the name of Jim Hunter, a pastor, and I'm going to share this, and we're going to close in just a minute. He said, I was going down the interstate one day, and he said, I noticed on the side of the road an elderly couple was standing outside their car, and the man was raising his hand looking for help, and he says, I pulled over to the side road and asked him what was going on. And the elderly man said that I'm almost out of gas, and I was afraid I was getting ready to give out. He said, would you take me to a gas station to get some gas? And he said, well, why don't we do this since you're not out of gas right now? How about if you just take off, head for the closest service station. I'll follow behind, and if you give out, then we'll go from there. So they take off. He said went more than 20 miles. He never gave out of gas, made it to the service station, and said the old fellow got out, and he was just profusely thankful for what he had done. And he said, my wife and I were just comforted knowing that you were back there behind us. I like that because the psalmist says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. You know, folks, it's comforting to know that God's got you back, and he really does care about you and loves you. Let him take you through this holiday season and the sadness that it is, because there's better days that are on the way. You just count on it, okay? I suspect that the vast majority of you folks know the Lord's Prayer, do you? And if not, it's written on the inside. We got a song. Oh, I apologize. I wouldn't miss that for anything. Thank you. Thank you. Folks, this was one of my favorite, and this girl and I talked about it all afternoon. One of our favorite hymns is Silent Night. We're going to do Silent Night, and we have discovered that Anna plays the cello. I don't know what the cello is, too. Is she not multi-talented? I mean, the girl plays the guitar and the cello and whatever else. Let me give you this little bit of background. The year was 1818. In the little town in Austria, little church there, they was getting ready to have their Christmas Eve service. And it was just the day before when they discovered that the organ was broken down and it wasn't going to be able to be fixed by that of the Christmas Eve service. The assistant pastor of the church was in charge of the program. He didn't know what in the world that he was going to do. And then he remembered he had written a poem a couple of years prior to, and he took that poem. It was all about the announcement of the Christ child to the shepherds in the field. And he takes that poem to the organist, and he says to him, could you put us a tune to this, something that could be sung? And when he brought it back, it was one to the guitar, played with the guitar, and it was Silent Night, one of our greatest hymns that we have. And I look forward, Nathan, Anna, would you come and play? And I apologize.